Hello everyone, it's been a while coming. It's finally time for us to begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 1, Balancing. As per usual, the point is to stay on the balance board as long as you can and make it to the end of the track. The team with the highest score will win the event and will start the season in first and with momentum. Who will it be? Let's find out. First up, the committee will show us how the event works. As you can see here, 3 of them made it all the way to the end, 1 not so much for 187 flat. As we're ready to begin the season, first up, the hosts, Knights of Night, get us going. But only 2 finishers, as 2 of them fell off quite early to the right side. And this is 141.2. Maple Leaves up next. Rolling down 3 finishers, again just 1 relatively early fall by the captain. This is gonna cost them 169.8. At the moment they're in first, but we still have 14 teams who are ready and raring to go. Up next, Sapphire Spirals. 2 all the way to the end, 2 early drops. Nope, people are falling under the pressure so far, 160.3. No one can really keep it together so far. Let's see, 13 colonies. They won the friendly with a gold in this, but they will only have 2 finishers. This will not count as another, as there is a bump near the end. And not quite, 177.3 though will put them in the lead at the moment. 13 colonies take the lead. Up next, Ghost Crabs. Started the season in first, will they do it again this year? Looking unlikely, they have 2 finishers, 1 not quite, 160.7.9, and they will not start in first again. Valdivians, hoping for a better start than last year. And it sure looks like it. 3 making it all the way, 1 again, relatively early fall, but not too early, and that puts them in the lead with 183.4. Good start for the Valdivians. Next up, Team Blah. They wanted it in the qualifiers. Can they do it again? Almost a perfect score. The third marble going on the side, so it will not be a perfect score, but still, 194.6 is a hard score to beat. This looks very good for Team Blood to start in first, as Brightening Knapweed are up next. This will not beat their score. Again, a bump near the right side. Not a perfect score. What will that give them? 186.5 for Brightening Knapweed, currently in second. Cherry Clouds moving on next. Final one a bit shy, but do make it. And that's still a good start. Again, just the first fall will cost them a potential gold, 184.6. Looking like a strong start for the Cherry Clouds. Next up, Spices. Hoping to get a good score, 3 all the way to the end. This looks like a good score. Again, just 1 fell off, costs them a lot. 179.2, still a good position so far, 4th place. As now for the final 6 teams, starting with Sugar Crash, the winners of the qualifiers. What do they have for us today? They have, as per usual, 3 finishers, 185.3, putting them in third. As we're moving to the next team, Whitecaps, our champion holders. We want to keep a hold of it, and this is looking pretty good. As per usual of late, 3 finishers, but also very late fall, with for 186.8, putting them in second place. Highballers, also champions, but this time of the Consolation Cup, but this doesn't look like a good start. 2 off the track, and 2 that make it all the way. And what will be the final score? 166.7 for 10th. But we still have 3 teams to go. Furious Fireworks up next. And they have 3 making it to the finish line. 1 falling at a pretty decent point, 184.8 for 5th. We are ready to keep rolling with the zooming zebras. Here they come to the end. One very early drop. A bit of a bump between the second and the third members, and this costs them a lot of points, 168.1. Finally, the silver bullets. Here they come to the track, and it will be a strong finish. Somewhat, 2 falls, but late falls, so 180.6 for 8th. But on the podium for the first event, brightening the nap with white caps and the gold medalists, Team Bla. Team Bla starting with the gold and once again starting in first. A strong showing for them. They will begin the season with the leader. The hosts start in last, but we still have 19 events to recover, as next up, the castle descent. We hope to see you all then. We hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, don't forget to keep on rolling. First event of the season is already behind us. Teams are now preparing for the second event and hoping to keep rolling in a positive note. At this time, it's about rolling down the funnels as fast as you can. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 2, the Castle Descent. The goal for this one, make it to the bottom of the funnel as fast as you can. Heats of 4 with 2 marbles from each team will roll down, and the faster you finish, the more points you gain. The 2 teams with the highest total points will move on to the next round. First place will get 8, second will get 7, third will get 6, and so on and so forth, until the last place will 8th will get 1 point, and the combine the score from both the first and the second marble of your team to finish is the score that matters. The 2 teams from each heat with the highest score, those will be the ones to move on. Of course, in the finals, the remaining 4 teams will compete just for first, and it's time for us to begin. Here they come. Rolling it to the first heat. Spices Team Bla. Rolling down, falling fast, and it is looking pretty good so far. Let's see who will be moving on. We have quite a big row of teams at the bottom. Spices looking pretty strong so far, but we have to wait and see who will be the teams to move on. So far we are ready to have our first few finishers. Now onto the small funnels at the bottom. There's another blue funnel that you have to finish through, different from the back in the 32 team funnel endurance. Back then it was about staying in as long as you can. This time it's about falling as fast as you can, so it's also a different role. But let's see who can manage through it. As so far we keep rolling down the course. 1 marble is stuck, and this will block the 2 remaining team from the high ballers who are trying to spin around. You see there are only 2 remaining. They will roll down. What will be the scores? Oh, and another pass right at the end. Furious fireworks, and Team Bla will move on. Spices and high ballers far behind. As we're ready to move on to heat number 2 of 4. Whitecaps, 13 colonies, cherry clouds, and ghost crabs. Who will be moving on from this heat? Again, if you get stuck, you still get 1 point. However, if you get into a tie and you get stuck, and I mean a perfect tie, it's a matter of who didn't get stuck will get the higher point. In case you get a tied point, it's about the best finisher from your team. So let's say 2 teams get 7 points. The one that got the higher finisher overall, let's say 6 in comparison to 4, will be the winner. As we are rolling down so far, Whitecaps behind. The cherry clouds are the first one to send a member through to the small funnels. It's looking good so far. But who will take the win? That's another thing to keep in mind. It's not just about 1 member, you need all of 2 members to do well, as Cherry Clouds have an early lead, and they will take the first finisher, and looking good for the second one as well. But let's see, there's still a lot of time left. Ghost Crabs sending somebody to the bottom, as do 13 Colonies. But Cherry Clouds get another quick finisher. I think they may finish top 2 for this heat. This will make the competition for the remaining spot a lot more ambiguous between the remaining teams. But who will be moving on? It is the Ghost Crabs, ahead of 13 Colonies and the Whitecaps. Meanwhile, Cherry Clouds easily also move on, as we move on to heat number 3. Brightening Knapweed, Valdivians, Maple Leaves and Sapphire Spirals. This is the first time Valdivians and the Brightening Knapweed get to meet one against another in a competition. Let's see what we've got. Every single one of them wants to prove to the other team they are the better ones, but at the moment, it's Maple Leaves who are starting the strongest. Already sending one to the third funnel. Wait, yes. But they get stuck at the entrance, fortunately freed by the Brightening Knapweed Marble. As we keep rolling down, close between all of them. Right now, Sapphire Spiral is struggling. We still have a lot of time to go. Brightening Knapweed sending one to the small funnels currently in the front, but the Maple Leaves, here they come with some more marbles. Sapphire Spirals also in a good position. This is close so far. Looking good for Maple Leaves, but let's see if they can hold on to it. And it's starting to look like a no. Brightening Knapweed with their first finishers. Here come Valdivians and all the other teams as well. Sapphire Spirals with a finisher. Maple Leaves. Oh, this is a close one. A close competition for second. Brightening Knapweed most likely move on. It looks like Valdivians may be the other team. Let's see, it's a close one. Who will move on? It is Sapphire Spirals and Brightening Knapweed. On a tie, Sapphire Spirals will be moving on. Oh, so close. But it is the Spirals that will enjoy a spot in the next round. But now we're moving on to the final heat. Zooming Zebras, Knights of Night, Silver Bullet and Sugar Crush. Ready to roll down to see who will move on to the semi-finals. Silver Bullets won the 32-team funnel endurance, but now they need to work on the opposite direction. They actually fall as fast as they can. Can they also succeed in this type of quest? Let's find out. So far, it's not looking likely. Zooming Zebras take the early lead, but here come the Knights of Night and the Silver Bullets actually take the lead. Let's see. Silver Bullets sending one of their members far forward, but one of the Sugar Crush members has fallen off. Sugar Crush losing one of their marbles and will have a 1 point awarded to him. Let's see if the other member can keep up a good point track, as right now it's looking close. We already have a few finishers, but Knights of Night already done, in fact. They're already clear. But we have a big race here for the next spot. It doesn't look like Sugar Crush will make it, but it's either Zooming Zebras or Silver Bullets that will make it. It's very close between these two teams. Who will find their spot in the semi-finals? And it's Zooming Zebras just barely ahead of the Silver Bullets. And that means Knights of Night and Zooming Zebras will move on. As we're moving on now to the semi-finals. Furious Fireworks, Ghost Crabs, Zooming Zebras and Brightening Knapweed. Who will move on to the finals?
Fireworks dominate this competition.
Here they come again. Good start here for the Ghost Crabs, but it is still very close and anyone can still win it. Zooming Zebras far behind and far ahead. Quite polar opposites. Let's see what we've got. Here come Brightening Knapweed. Two members already to the final orange. Big orange, that is. But we still have a lot of time to go. Who is going to take it? Brightening Knapweed with the lead. With a good lead, in fact. Already to the final funnel. Trying to fall down and get the 8 points. But no, pushed aside. And this will not be awarded to them. I believe that was Ghost Crabs that have taken the full score. Are looking good thus far. In fact, I believe they're also already done. This looks like a fairly one-sided match. very one-sided. Here they come. Let's see who will move on. Actually, no, this was the final member for Ghost Crabs. This isn't as close as we thought. But let's see the final scores. The teams moving on. Brightening Knapweed and Ghost Crabs will move on. Zooming Zebras and Furious Fireworks are out. As we're ready to roll down to the second semi-final. Team Blah, Cherry Clouds, Sapphire Spirals, and Knights of Night. The hosts and the leaders, as well as the team named after Spiral Series. Hosts of the first season of Spiral Series also here. They want to show that they know what they're doing in a funnel. This was about racing, so let's see if they know what it is up to do. But Team Blah and Knights of Night far behind already. Cherry Clouds and Sapphire Spirals looking strong so far. The other teams have to catch up and quickly as the top two are flying forward. Let's see if they can manage. Team Blah trying to give a bit of a challenge and are pushing around a little bit of a shove, but everything is legal here. On the funnels, let's see, falling down again. Who will be the first ones to make it through? All of the top three are in there. Knights of Night far behind, struggling to get anything. Cherry Clouds already one near the finish. Can they get another first? Yes, they can. Here comes Sapphire Spirals alongside. Already getting one for most teams. Let's see. Oh, a bit of a push. Knights of Night coming with a fight all of a sudden. Team Blah also trying to push. Sapphire Spirals managed to make it. Here come Cherry Clouds. Oh, this is going to be a close finish. This is going to be a very close finish to who moves on. Who will make it to the finals? It's Sapphire Spirals and Cherry Clouds. Knights of Night and Team Blah almost managed to make it through, but not quite. They will not make it to the finals as Ghost Crabs, Brightening Knapweed, Sapphire Spirals and Cherry Clouds rolling for the gold. Who will win the second event of the JBL Cup? Let's find out. All teams rolling down, trying to get the win. Sapphire Spirals first one's down. But here come all the other teams. Brightening Knapweed have always started strong. Can they keep it up today as well? Doesn't seem like it, as one of them is struggling far behind. One of them near the front, but there's still a lot of time to go. All teams still rolling, brawling, trying their hardest to win this gold medal. They know how important that is. Ghost Crabs and the Sapphire Spirals in the front alongside the Cherry Clouds. Sapphire Spirals already with one on the final funnel, as are the Cherry Clouds. Who will take the 8 points? It's Sapphire Spirals who will take the full score. Ghost Crabs also sending one forward, but will only have to settle for second, for third probably. Yes, they will. It's a close competition for the gold. Brightening Knapweed far behind, but who will win this event? It's incredibly close so far. Ghost Crabs looking like they're gonna take the next spot, and they will. On Brightening Knapweed coming out of nowhere to get the next point. Then comes the Cherry Clouds, Sapphire Spirals, and Brightening Knapweed. Who wins the gold medal? And it's the Ghost Crabs! Just barely, Ghost Crabs will take the gold medal ahead of Sapphire Spirals and the Cherry Clouds. A very close finish between the top three, but it is the Ghost Crabs who will take the gold home today. Another early gold for this team, this time in Event 2 rather than Event 1, and this propels them up to second in the standings. Team Blah still in first, but we still have 18 events to go, as we are all ready for the next event, the sprint. We hope to see you then. Until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. As the second event of the season has already come to a close, and things are running smoothly so far. Now it's time to test the teams on actual running, or more so, sprinting. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 3, the Sprint. This is a heats of 4 event where the top 2 from each heat will move on with a simple goal of make it to the finish line as fast as you can. No obstacles except each other on the way. The first 2 from each heat will move on until the 4 will remain racing for gold. First up, the comedy run will show us how things are done. And very good showing from everyone. Pesky will win this friendly. But let's see who will win the proper event. Starting off, High Ballers, Silver Bullets, Zooming Zebras and Cherry Cloud. Down they come, Cherry Cloud with the early lead, but on the bottom you can see Zooming Zebras zooming through. All the other three teams up on the top, but Zooming Zebras quietly from the bottom win the heat and will move on alongside the Cherry Clouds. Silver Bullets and High Ballers are out. As we're ready for the second heat. Here come the next four teams. Maple Leaves, Furious Fireworks, Valdivians and Brightening Knapweed. Who will be the ones moving on? It is Brightening Knapweed and Furious Fireworks. Valdivians and Maple Leaves, another struggle at the beginning of a season. They need to get themselves together quickly so they will not fall far behind. Brightening Knapweed and Furious Fireworks will move on. 3 getting its first point for 2. Congratulations, but not moving on, so it's not important. Sugar Crush, Ghost Crabs, Knights of Night and Sapphire Spirals. Last time's winners, Ghost Crabs, are in, but it's Knights of Night who will win the heat. Ghost Crabs will also move on. Knights of Night, amazing speed from the beginning all the way to the end. Keeping it in a straight line also helps, and they will move on. Ghost Crabs trying to draft them, but they can't, and the Knights of Night will break the record. Oh, the crowd erupts with joy. Their team moves on and has the new record. Spices, Whitecaps, Team Blah, and 13 Colonies. Moving up next. And it looks like, yes, Whitecaps and the Team Blah will move on. With relative ease, as 13 Colonies flank to the side and Spices just not fast enough, it is an easy win for these two. They will make it also to the semi-finals, as 13 Colonies and Spices are also out. We're ready to move on to the semi-final. Semi-final A, Knights of Night, Team Blah, Zooming Zebras and Furious Fireworks. Knights of Night, another strong start. They're once again flying down. Team Blah will move on alongside them. And these will be the two teams moving on. The crowd again with joy. As Midnight again shows dominance on the track. Amazing pace. Team Blah moving on, and once again another new record. Team Knights of Night break their own record and have gone even faster. As we're now going to semi-final B, with the remaining 4 teams ready to roll down. Who will be moving on? It is Brightening Knapweed and the Whitecaps. Whitecaps and Brightening Knapweed both have done phenomenal so far this season, as have Team Blah, who have moved on. Knights of Night desperate for points after the bad showing in the first event. Ghost Crabs and Cherry Clouds will not move on. Ghost Crabs will not win the sprint again. But who will? Let's find out. Team Blah, Knights of Night, Whitecaps and Brightening Knapweed. And down they roll again. And Knights of Night again with the lead. And they will hold it all the way to the end. Knights of Night win the gold. The hosts win it. To the crowd's incredible joy. You can hear the noise of the crowd happy about this win. Knights of Night giving away with the gold and another new record. Knights of Night breaking their own record again. Midnight showing how fast they are, getting gold and 3 records on the way. Whitecaps will take the silver, Team Blah with the bronze. And this is how the results will come. Team Blah still in first, Whitecaps back in second again. Highballers deep in last after this last place finish. Can they recover in the long jump? We'll have to wait and see. But we hope to see you guys then. Until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. After 3 events behind us in the JBL Cup, we're ready to move on to another one. This time jumping for joy, but rather for height. It's for length. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 4, the long jump, or getting off a sky rail to jump as far as you can and off the track, and the team that makes it the farthest will win gold. Let's see which team will jump, hop and skip to the end. First up with our comedy run, trying to show how this event will work, and it will be as such: jump as far as you can and make it as far as possible. That's with a good score. First up for the highballers, the captain Jet, desperate to get some points. They're sitting far in last place. Can they get points today? Seems like a pretty good hop. It's a 22 flat, tied with the previous record. And this is a good start for the highballers, but we've seen a lot of record breaks today. Let's see if there will be another with the Maple Leaves, with Syrup making a jump. Good height, and it's a 20.6, putting them in second place. These teams need the points. Can they get them today? Let's find out. Spices with the reserve, Mint, making the jump, and it's a decent landing, but let's see how far they made it. Not a lot of height, but a lot of distance. 20.8 to put them now in second place. As we're ready to hop on to the Silver Bullets with Handel, taking a jump, putting the bar a bit near the end, and this is a bad landing. 19.7 at the moment in last place. Branch for Valdivians, they also need the points. Can the captain give him some? It looks likely. This is a good landing. They got a lot of height and a lot of distance, and it's a 21.1 for the Valdivians, putting them in second place. The fans are happy. They need the points. They might get them today. As we're moving on to Cat from Sugar Crush, jumping to the course. A bit of a distance to the right, it seems. Will it hurt their score? Not by much, 20.9, and now they are sitting in third. Oh my, great score so far. Zooming Zebras with Cross, hopping down. Oh, and that got no distance. A good height, but no speed, and that's a 19.6 for the Zooming Zebras. Sapphire Spirals with Spiral, ready to jump. And jump they did, but how far did they go? Not a lot of height, not a lot of distance either. 18.5, far behind in last place for Sapphire Spirals. As we're ready to move on, Furious Fireworks with Kraken, jumping, hopping, and not getting much distance, as it would seem. Good height, but I guess not enough speed behind it. 19.8, provisionally 6. Veer, captains so far in this event have done well. Can the 13 colonies continue this trend? They will try to do as such, but will not succeed. 18.6, just barely not last place, ahead of Sapphire Spirals. As we are preparing to continue, Cherry Blossoms, Cherry Clouds actually with Blossom. Blossom wanted to come back to his old team of just the Cherry Blossoms. Cherry Clouds with a 20 flat and the new 6th place finishers. But we still have 5 teams to go. We have to wait and see how this will stand as we're moving on to Krabby, the captain of the Ghost Crabs. Taking a jump, looking decent enough. But let's see how it will actually be. Oh, it's not actually very good. It's a 19 flat and putting them in 10th, only ahead of 2 teams. As we're going to the top 4 now, starting with the Knights of Night. Knight, ready to jump. Did not get much distance, it would seem. Again, not a lot of height, but it is good enough for 19.1 and a 10th. As we're moving on to the podium at the moment, Small Leaf for Brightening Knapweed. Ever the 3rd place. Only top 4 finishes so far. Can we keep it up through this event? It doesn't seem like it. 18.9 and that's 12. And now our champion holders, white caps, will try to jump. Kappa taking a hop, looking pretty decent, but let's see how it actually stacks up. And it's a 19.5. They are now in 10th, as we have only one more jump remaining. Bauer for Team Blah. They hope to hold on to the lead a little bit longer, and it seems like a decent distance on it. And it is 19.7 for 8th, but that means that on the podium it is Sugar Crush, Valdivians, and gold medalists, the Highballers, desperate for points, and the captain gave them exactly what they needed. Gold medal by quite a fair distance too. And this will propel them up to 10th, while Team Blast still holding on to the lead with 12 points. But can they keep it up until event 5, the hurdles? We have to wait and see. We hope to see you guys then. Until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. The first 4 events of the JBL Cup, we still see Team Blast sitting comfortably in first with a bigger lead than before. But can anybody jump up to them here in the hurdles? It's time to find out. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 5, the hurdles. It was precisely the same as it did in the qualifiers and the friendly. 2 hurdles on the way, heats of 4. And the top 2 from each heat will be moving on. As per usual, the final 4 will race off for the gold. First up, the committee will show us how the event works, rolling down to the course. Well done for everyone there. But now we go to the actual competitors. Ready? To fight. Highballers, Furious Fireworks, Silver Bullets, and the White Caps. Down they come! And it will be the Furious Fireworks and Silver Bullets who will find their spot in the semi-finals. A good start for the White Caps, but a bad bump pushes them back and gives the Silver Bullet a chance to pass and put them in the next round. Furious Fireworks, just fast enough and consistent enough, make it through. Moving on to hit number 2, Brightening Napweed, Sapphire Spirals, Valdivians, and 13 Colonies. 13 Colonies won it in the qualifiers, in the friendly actually, and are looking good so far with an easy shoot forward, a great bump. Shoots them to the front, and Valdivians just barely ahead of Brightening Napweed as 13 Colonies break the record. 13 Colonies take the record, Valdivians eliminate the Brightening Napweed as we're moving on to hit number 3. Here come all the teams. Oh, massive bump between everyone. Spice is enjoying this bump as all the other 3 teams bumped against each other. Team Blah almost falling off. But they managed to stay on and take the spot also in the semi-finals. Knights of Night and Sugar Crush are out. Quite a violent way to make it, but it works out. Final heat, Cherry Clouds, Ghost Crabs, Zooming Zebras and Maple Leaves. Who will make it? The Maple Leaves will make it, and the Ghost Crabs will join them in the next round. Maple Leaves, desperate need for some points, a bad start for the season. Pushing the Zooming Zebras far back, and it worked out as they find themselves in the semis. In fact, they pushed Zooming Zebras so far they finished last place for this event. Here we go, semi-final A. Here come all the teams, and who have made it for second place? It's not as clear as it may seem. Let's see here. Oh, I think it might be the Valdivians. Yes, it is! Furious Fireworks and Valdivians, barely ahead of Team Blah. They find themselves in the finals. But who will join them? 13 Colonies, Silver Bullets, Maple Leaves and Spices, ready to roll down. 13 Colonies with a good start, and Silver Bullets will come alongside them to the finals. Spices a bit of a bad bump over the first hurdle, pushes them way back. They couldn't bring it back in. Silver Bullets and 13 Colonies to the finals. But who is going to take it? Who will win gold in the hurdles? We have the 4 remaining ones. Who is going to take it? And down we come again. Silver Bullets with the lead for the Valdivians. Is it Valdivians or Furious Fireworks? Oh, it's a close finish between the top two. Did the Furious Fireworks make it back in time? No! Valdivians! Hold on by 100th of a second, and they will win the gold! Ahead of Furious Fireworks and 13 Colonies, as per usual, with the bronze that they love oh so much. Silver Bullets, only 4th place. But how does this shake the standings? Team Blast still in first, Zooming Zebras fall to the bottom. But we still have a lot of time to go, 15 events to go, as next time, the Triathlon. We hope you all enjoyed this event and we hope to see you then. But until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. So far in the JBL Cup, we've tested teams on many different types of skills. Today we're testing them on technical four. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 6, the Triathlon. As per usual in a race event, this is a heat of 4, where the top 2 will move on until 4 will remain racing for gold. Today in the Triathlon we're starting on the track, moving on to a ascent section in the center, finishing off in the water, where the first team to reach the bottom of the ball will win the heat. So the committee run will get us underway to explain with a view of how this will work. You're going through the track, onto the sand, falling down to the water, and the first one to hit the bottom is the winner. Thank you for the demonstration, and now let's go to the actual event. Sugar Crush, Team Blah, Ghost Crabs and Maple Leaves starting us off. Sugar Crush in the lead, Team Blah falling off the track. Ghost Crabs trying to cut them off, they will. And they will move alongside the Maple Leaves, but what happened to Team Blah in the track section? Let's have a look at this. Sugar Crash in the lead, Team Blah too much speed and have fallen off. Too fast for their own good, and Team Blah is out of this event. Highly unfortunate for the team in the lead. This will hurt their chances to keep it quite drastically. Blob fortunately is not injured, but we have to keep going. It's moving on. Silver Bullets, Valdivians, 13 Colonies. Tightening it up with all of them rolling down. Silver Bullets cutting in the sand. Amazing cut by the Silver Bullets. Valdivians will move alongside them to the semi-finals, but look at the move from Silver Bullets. Sitting in third behind 13 Colonies and Valdivians, and then in the sand, gathering so much speed, cutting all the way to the lead. Widening it up, we're trying to do the same, but can't quite beat Valdivians, just like in the last event. Valdivians will cut the Napweed's chances of moving on short, as they will be moving on once again. But moving right along to our next heat. Who will be the next two teams to move on to the next round? Here they come down the track. And our hosts are taking a good lead. And it looks like the Sapphire Spirals will join them. Furious Fireworks, nowhere to be seen. A good strong start. Spices also trying to cut through. But can they make it? It doesn't seem likely. No, it is indeed Sapphire Spirals who will be moving on to the semi-finals. Spices once more will have to wait a little bit longer, as the Knights of Night and the Sapphire Spirals are through. We are getting ready to the final quarterfinal match. Who will be moving on? Here they come down, Cherry Clouds in the lead, followed by Highballers and Whitecaps. But a bad entry into the water, and Whitecaps will take the heat. Cherry Clouds will move on from second. Zooming Zebras struggling in third throughout pretty much the entire race. And just could not make it to the top two at any point. This means they are out. Highballers' bad entry into the water cost them a spot. And Whitecaps, dominant underwater once more, join the Cherry Clouds in the semis. As we have the bottom 8 already sorted, it's time for us to move on and see who will win. Cherry Clouds, Knights of Night, Valdivians and Maple Leaves rolling through. Knights of Night with the lead, followed by Valdivians. But here comes the Cherry Cloud, managing to cut them off. Oh, what a block laid by the Cherry Cloud to stop the Knights of Night, and Valdivians will move on as well. The fans not happy about the move from the Cherry Clouds, who will be moving on to the finals, but as you can see, putting a block on the Knights of Night, not letting them hit the bottom, and because of this, Valdivians will be moving on to the finals. Maple Leaves also out. As we are moving to the second semi-final, the top three from last year, all here in this heat alongside the Sapphire Spirals. Silver Bullets again in the sand, counting a lot, and Ghost Crabs will join them. Sapphire Spirals just stuck in a really hard heat against some of the elites of the JBL. Could not catch up, as once again Silver Bullets getting a lot of speed in the sand, and Ghost Crabs just managed to hold on to that lead they had at the start. That was enough to put them in the finals alongside the Silver Bullets. But now we're racing to find out who will win, as only 4 teams remain. Who will win gold in the Triathlon? Silver Bullets, Cherry Clouds, Valdivians and Ghost Crabs, and down they come again. Who will win? Silver Bullets with a good lead, but here come the Ghost Crabs trying to cut them off, but Silver Bullets better under the water, and they will win the event. Silver Bullets will win the Triathlon. Leading pretty much the whole way, Ghost Crabs cutting them off in the sand, but they managed to regain it underwater, and they will take the gold. Valdivians with their 3rd medal in a row, this time a bronze, continue to push forward and try to take the lead. Cherry Cloud, only a 4th. Ghost Crabs, of course, taking the silver medal today. They will be happy with this. This will help them propel a bit higher up in the standings, as well as Valdivians, and of course the return of the Silver Bullets, as now on the top Valdivians take the lead in the standings. Ghost Crabs now tied with Team P.R.O for 2nd, but we still have a lot of time to go, as next up, the obstacle course. We hope you all enjoyed, and we hope to see you then, and until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. Let's test the team's technicality in the racetrack. How about once again, here, but with obstacles. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2 Event 7, the Obstacle Maze. For this one, it's about reaching to the bottom the fastest out of everyone and not being at last. This will work similar to how the elimination race in the Marble League has worked in 2019, where the first to finish will move on, the last is out until 4 will remain in the heat. Moving on, will be moving on. There will be 8 in every heat. 4 will move on from each to the finals, and then we eliminate them one by one until only 2 will remain, but the first one to finish will win gold. Better explanation will be shown here as the first round is ready to go underway. 8 teams rolling down, only 6 will roll on after this round. The first to finish will move on, and the last to finish will be out. And it will be the Ghost Crabs who move on, and Zooming Zebras who fell off at some point here in the course. You can keep an eye on them near the top. And they just got stuck in the rocks. That means they are eliminated. So the remaining 6 will go again for another round. But once again, the first to finish and the last to finish will not longer compete. The first will move on to the finals, the last will be out, and then the remaining 4 will race off for the remaining 2 spots to move on to the finals. As we're ready now to roll onwards with the remaining 6 teams. Here they come down the course. Everyone's trying to stay in. We already have a finisher, but who will finish last? Team Blah in the back, and they will finish in the back. Whitecaps moving on, and Team Blah is out, continuing their bad momentum after the DNQ in the last event. The DNF in the last event, shall I say. Whitecaps cutting everyone off right near the end, skipping all the obstacles. Brilliantly done, and they will be moving on, as we're ready to roll on through to the final round of the first semi-final. Of the remaining 4 teams who will be moving on to the finals. Blvd and Verdant Colonies, Spices and Sugar Crush. And we already have one finisher. Valdivians will move on. 13 Colonies and Sugar Crush looking like they're gonna be stuck behind. Or was it the Spices actually? No, it is the Spices that will move on. Sugar Crush and 13 Colonies are out. Spices and Valdivians will be in the finals. A great job by Spices cutting everyone off. Valdivians just fast enough to stop Sugar Crush. 13 Colonies struggling far behind. They will not move on. As we are now getting ready for the other 8 teams racing for the remaining 4 spots, who will find their way to the finals. Starting us off in the first round of 3 for this group of marbles. Here they come down the course. Who will be out and who will move on? Close. We have a few teams all over the place. We can see one of them being stuck near the top there. But they are not the top team stuck. Silver Bullets will be moving on, but Sapphire Spirals got stuck at a much higher point, it would seem. No, they just fell off the track. At the bottom of the track, the Sapphire Spirals fell off. Highballers got stuck, fortunately for them. Another team has fallen off, so they get to keep their chance. So the remaining 6 teams will roll again, trying to get their spot in the finals. Who will be the next team to join the Silver Bullets? Let's find out. Here they come once again. Highballers flying down the course, they're already done. But who will be out? Is it Brightening Knapweed? Looks like they're the last ones. No, the Knights of Night got stuck. Highballers will be moving on. It seems the Knights of Night have got stuck up somewhere up the course. No, they just fell off. And near the top right, Knights of Night, our hosts, will not move on. Highballers will join the other 5 teams in the finals, as now only 2 spots remain between 4 remaining teams. Who will get them? Furious Fireworks, Maple Leaves, Brightening Knapweed and Cherry Clouds rolling for a chance to make it to the finals. Maple Leaves will make it and Cherry Clouds will make it as well. The other 2 teams, Furious Fireworks and Brightening Knapweed, don't even finish. There was never really much of a challenge for these 2. They were in the lead most of the way. And regardless, the other 2 just didn't finish. Brightening Knapweed at the bottom, Furious Fireworks at the top. And they will both not make it to the finals. As now we have the remaining 8 teams. Now it's just about not finishing last place. That's all that matters. If you don't finish last, you will move on. Right now it's a close one between the bottom 5, and it's looking like the Highballers will finish in last place. They are out of this event. Highballers will not win the elimination maze, as we still have 7 teams remaining rolling down with a chance to win. You see, it's a close one. Ghost Crabs almost out, but they managed to keep it close and just barely make it before them. As now the remaining 7 teams rolling down with a chance to win. 6 more races to go. And we are going again. Who will be out in 7th? Maple Leaves in the back, but we managed to recover. Now it's Cherry Clouds at the back, but we managed to cut one of the teams. And who was that? It's the Valdivians, who will not manage to medal for the 4th time in a row. Valdivians, great momentum so far in the league. They've looked fantastic so far, but just couldn't keep it up once more and get another spot. Cherry Clouds almost falling off the track, but managed to keep it steady for just enough and push Valdivians back, so they are eliminated. Now we have 6 teams remaining, still rolling down the course. Who will be moving on? Spices, Maple Leaves, still hoping for their first medal of the season. Maple Leaves looking good so far in 2nd. Spices also close so far. Ghost Crabs in last, but they managed to push another team to the back, and Silver Bullets are out. Trigger, still can't quite perform to the level of last year. Top 3 flying forward, Whitecaps, Maple Leafs and the Cherry Clouds never really had much of an obstacle in their way, but the other 3 close together, and the Ghost Crabs barely again, this time ahead of the Silver Bullets. Good showing from the Crabs, pushing the runner-ups from last year out of this event. So now only 5 remain, still rolling for a chance to win. Yeah, they come down, Ghost Crabs and Maple Leafs stuck near the back, but this time it seems that nobody will save the Ghost Crabs. They are out of this event. Ghost Crabs with the 5th, and that means that no matter what happens, we are gonna have a new medalist today. Either Maple Leafs or Spices at the very least will finish in the top 3. But we still have just 3 more hits to go. Everyone can still win it. Who will be out next and will not get a medal in this event? Remaining 4 teams rearing in, ready to go. Who will be out next? Spices, Maple Leafs, Cherry Clouds and Whitecaps. And I believe Cherry Clouds have fallen off the course. They are out of this event. Spices lucky enough to still move on. Cherry Clouds with Blossom falling off fairly early. They are out. Yeah, you see near the top, near the bottom, on the fidget spinner, they couldn't quite keep it up. Maple Leafs will win the heat, followed by the Whitecaps, and Spices will move on as well. First medal for both Maple Leafs and Spices this season. Whitecaps still trying to show that why they are the best team around, trying to maybe win a 2nd championship in a row. As now, who will take the bronze medal today? Ready to roll down, the remaining 3. Down the course they come, Spices with the early lead, Whitecaps falling far behind. Can they catch up to the Maple Leafs? They can't. Whitecaps are out. Whirlpool couldn't quite keep it up for long enough. Spices flying forward, not really much of a competition for them. Maple Leafs blocked just a little bit, but not enough for the Whitecaps to pass them. They will move on to the finals to face off against the Spices. We're getting ready for the final heat. Who will win the obstacle course event? Spices or Maple Leafs? Maple Leafs with a good lead, flying down the course. Well, Spices, here they are, and they're getting everything, and that's a bump. But what a block by the Maple Leafs. Losing a lot of speed. They realized how fast Spices came in, went for the risky block, and it paid off beautifully. Maple Leafs blocked the Spices, and they will take the gold today in the obstacle course event. Maple Leafs standing on the top. Behind them, Spices with the silver, and Whitecaps will take the bronze today. But how does this shake up the standings, as we're already 7 events through the season? As you can see here today, Blvd still in the lead, Ghost Crabs sitting in 2nd, Whitecaps back in 3rd again, Zooming Zebras the only team yet to get a medal. Can they get it in the next event? That being Jousting. We have to wait and see, and we hope to see you then, and until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. After 3 speed events in a row, JBL Cup, we're here to test teams on a new category. This time, it's on the strength. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 8, Jousting. It's a 1 team against another. 2 members from each team will go down into a track, trying to push a ball in the center to the other side, to the other team's side. The team that manages to do better between the 2 will move on until only 2 teams will remain, fighting for gold. We get an explanation run here from the committee again, and the team on the left is the winner as the ball finished on the right side. We are now starting with Blvd and Zooming Zebras. Match number 1, it's very even so far, not anymore. Oh, almost falling into a perfect 5 at the end. 5 is the most that you can win by. Not quite. but Valdivians with ease will move on to the quarterfinals. Zooming Zebras, still no medals. The only team so far in the JBL Cup without a medal to their name. Can they get one in the next event? Maybe. But next up, Ghost Crabs and 13 Colonies rolling down, and it's a win for the Ghost Crabs, just barely. They managed to make it first to the ball in the center. 13 Colonies could not answer well enough, and it is a win for the Ghost Crabs. Top two both moving on. Next up, Whitecaps and Sapphire Spirals. And it's a close one, but it is a win for the Whitecaps. All of the top three moving on, the bottom three all out of the event already. The top teams will run away with it for now, but we have to wait and see what the others can do as well. As for match number 4, Team Blah and Sugar Crash. Ready to roll down, and Team Blah brings it back dominantly. It looked like a win for Sugar Crash, but a great recovery from Team Blah. Even though both of them fell off first, it doesn't matter as the ball finished on the Sugar Crash side, and Team Blah will be moving on. Great job from the top 4, all of them through to the next round. As next up, Silver Bullets and the Highballers. Rolling down, it's a close one. Very close in fact, but who got it? I think it might be the Highballers just barely. Did they manage to do enough? Oh, it's a close one. Yes, they did. 0.3. And that is enough to put the Highballers in the next round. Knights of Night and Cherry Clouds. Cherry Clouds are winning this. They easily win this, in fact. Cherry Clouds winning without any problems whatsoever. Cherry Clouds moving on. Knights of Night with a -5. This is potentially a last place. Furious Fireworks and Brightening Knapweed for another spot, and this looks like a win for the Furious Fireworks. Good enough from the Fireworks. They managed to win the heat. Brightening Knapweed, not enough power behind it. They are out. Cannot move on again. Furious Fireworks looking good so far. Maple Leaves and Spices, top 2 from the last event. Back then it was the Maple Leaves who won, but this time it will be the Spices who get the revenge on the last event's gold, doing just enough to move on. Maple Leaves also out. 2.2, the Spices will win. And so we have the bottom 8 so far, moving on to the top. Valdivians and, oh, what a comeback from the Cherry Clouds. Look at this, Valdivians with a fantastic start. This is a win for the Ghost Crabs, obviously. They will move on to the semis. But look, Valdivians first 2, but the first Ghost Crab member stops the ball. The second one pushes it to the other side. A brilliant strategy from the Ghost Crabs. And it pays off. They move on. As the next match, Whitecaps and Team Blah. And it's a very similar strategy here pulled by Team Blah. They also move on. Whitecaps are out. Look, again. This time we use the second marble to push into the first. To push again. And it seems to pay off even better. They win with ease. Next up, Highballers and Cherry Clouds. Who will find the spot? And again, the same strategy as before. Cherry Clouds continuing the get second, get the win. And it works. Highballers are out. Cherry Clouds win the rivalry match this time around. And move on to the semi-finals. And who will be their match in that fight? Furious Fireworks or Spices? But this time Furious Fireworks trying to do the same strategy as everyone else, but it didn't work out. Spices get the win. It didn't work out for Furious Fireworks. Good enough of a job from the Spices. They will move on to the semi-finals. Now we have the bottom 12. Time to find out the top 4. Team Blah starting strong, but once again, Ghost Crabs bring it back. And once more, we'll move on to the finals. They've already won the last duo event. They would like to do the same once again today. It's looking positive so far for a back-to-back gold in the duos. But who will face them off in the finals? Cherry Clouds and Spices, ready to roll down. And it will be the Cherry Clouds doing just enough to stop the Spices. They will move on to the finals. Cherry Clouds and Ghost Crabs both doing really good so far in this season. In fact, Cherry Clouds are currently in a 3-event streak of only top 4 finishes. This time with a medal, unlike the last 2. But who will get bronze so far between the 2 losers of the last round? It's Spices, who will take the bronze over Team Blood. Spices showing no problem so far, 2 medals in a row after getting none early on. But this time it's a bronze. They're still happy with this, it's a good result. But who will get gold between Ghost Crabs and Cherry Clouds? And it will be the Ghost Crabs, who with a slight push from the final marble, the second one, gets the push to the other side, and Ghost Crabs will win gold in Jousting. A great showing from all the teams, but on the podium, Spices, Cherry Clouds, and the gold medalists Ghost Crabs will finish on top today. Ghost Crabs getting into this event in second place, but they will live in first, 105 points. Zooming Zebras is still in last with no medal. Can they get into the next event, the Slalom? We have to wait and see. We hope to see you by then. And until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. After so many events so far in the JBL Cup, testing teams on how they work in the speed individually, this one is testing them as a team. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2, Event 9, the Slalom. For this event, it's a 1v1 event once again, where all 4 members of the team will roll down, and the third member from each team to make it to the end will decide the time. The team that beats the other one will move on to the next round until only 2 will remain, racing for gold. Once again, the committee run here against others to show us how this event will go, and the test team will win this test. As we're going to the first round, Ghost Crabs and Zooming Zebras, still medalists, but are starting stronger today, and will move on. Zooming Zebras will beat the Ghost Crabs, and will move on to the next round. A bit of a shaky start, but good enough because Ghost Crabs were somehow even slower, and this is good enough for the Zooming Zebras to move on. A team known for speed has lost today, but the Zooming Zebras will zoom past. As we're ready to find out who will they face off, Blvds or Sapphire Spirals. Down they come again, Sapphire Spirals starting stronger, but Blvds bring it back, and they will move on. Sapphire Spirals continuing to struggle so far this season, can't quite do well enough, and they are out of this event. Blvd, they saw they lost their first, they want it back now, and they have a chance to do it in the next round. On to match number 3, Cherry Clouds and 13 Colonies. Cherry Clouds with great momentum so far. Cherry 13 Colonies losing 2 members of the team, and that is a last place finish. They will not have a time presented at all. Cherry Clouds also losing 1 marble, but fortunately for them that's still enough to give them a time. This is a disqualification for 13 Colonies. They are out, and Cherry Clouds will move on. Sugar Crush and Whitecaps are up next, and it's a very close match, but I believe it is the Whitecaps who've done better. You see, Sugar Crush been in the lead for most of the way, but a bit of a push between the second and the third members slowed them down just enough for the Whitecaps to squeak in and move on. Whitecaps will continue. Next, Knights of Night and Team Blood. Knights of Night coming off of a last place in the last event, starting badly, but they have recovered, and the Knights of Night will move on. All the fans very happy about this. Team Blood falling apart. This is a Season 1 rivalry here. These two have been facing off quite often and have been in the top 2 for a while. But this time it is the Knights who will find themselves in the next round. But who will they face off? Silver Bullets or the Highballers? And down they come. Highballers with a bad start. They lose one of their members, and that is a loss. And that means that Silver Bullets, just consistent enough, not particularly fast, but is good enough to put them in the next round. Too much chaos from the other side gives them the easy win and a spot in the quarterfinals. Highballers are out. As we're ready, rolling back up to the top, Furious Fireworks and Brightening Knapweed, the record holders in this heat, and are starting very strong today, and that's an easy win for Brightening Knapweed. No trouble at all from Furious Fireworks. They were not in contention at any point. Brightening Knapweed dominating the competition. They will find themselves in the next round with good time, and that will be enough. Spices and Maple Leaves facing off once again. These two teams can't get away from one another. But who won this heat? Spices losing one of their members, but have looked faster overall. Is it still good enough to beat the Maple Leaves? We get a closer look here, and oh, it's too close to tell. Oh, who won? It's a tie. It is a tie between the two teams who are going again. And down they roll once more. Maple Leaves with the better lead, and they will win it. Maple Leaves in the quarterfinals. What a match between them and the Spices. These two teams facing off quite often, but this time it's the Maple Leaves that have their hand on top. They will be in the next round. As we now have at the bottom, time to find the top. Here we roll down once more. Zooming Zebras and Valdivians. Down we come again. Valdivians with a better start, but they lose 2 members, and that is an easy win for the Zooming Zebras. Valdivians losing 2 on the way, and that means they are out and will not have a time. Zooming Zebras just needed to finish, which they did, and that means they are potentially just 1 match away from their first medal of the season. But who will be the team to try and stop their celebration? Let's find out. Whitecaps and Cherry Clouds. Who will move on to the semis? It's a close match so far, but the Cherry Clouds again. Cherry Clouds continuing their incredible momentum. That is a 4th top 4 finish in a row. They've just done just well enough to beat the Whitecaps. They will move on. A bit of a bump near the end slows the Whitecaps down. What won it for them in the first round lost to them in the second. Silver Bullets and Knights of Night. Down they come. Knights of Night with a better start. Is it good enough? Yes, it is. Knights of Night moving on to the semis. Great recovery after their last place in the last event. This is looking significantly better. They are off to the semis. Can they get their second medal of the season? It's between Brightening Knapweed and Maple Leaves to who will face them off. And Brightening Knapweed with another strong start and another easy win. Brightening Knapweed too good on the slalom. Don't seem to be anywhere near stoppable so far. They will win it. Again, good enough for a semi-final spot. And now we're ready for the final 4. Who will win the event? First up, Cherry Clouds and Zooming Zebras. Down they come again. Cherry Clouds. Oh, it's a close match. Did Cherry Clouds win, or did the Zooming Zebras do enough? We have to wait and see here on the callback. And the Cherry Clouds doing just enough. They will move on once again to the finals. Zooming Zebras can't make a final spot. But who will they face off? Knights of Night or Brightening Knapweed? Brightening Knapweed with another dominant start, and that is another easy win. Knights of Night also losing one of their members on the way. This definitely didn't help, as Brightening Knapweed will move on to the finals. Once again, no issues so far at all in this event. But maybe the finals against Cherry Clouds will change it. But before we get to this, a bronze medal match between the Zooming Zebras and the hosts, the Knights of Night. Down they come. Better start so far. It's very close. A better start for the Zooming Zebras. But did the Knights of Night bring it back? It's very close. You can see the further member slowing down. It's so close. Who's got it? It's the Knights of Night, just barely. Who will get the bronze? Zooming Zebras still medalists. so close, but so far away. But who will win gold between the Cherry Clouds and Brightening Knapweed? And another strong start for Brightening Knapweed. They truly are unstoppable in this event. Brightening Knapweed will win the gold. Zero issues from the first round all the way to the finals. They will win the gold, and they will also break their own record by 100th of a second. Brightening Knapweed, the kings of the slalom. Cherry Clouds, another silver in a row. Knights of Night will get the bronze. We're happy with this. It's a good result overall. But how does this shape up on the standings? With a silver medal, it is the Cherry Clouds that take the lead. Cherry Clouds up on the top. But can they keep it all the way to the end of the first half? We have to find out soon enough, as in the next event, Collision. Hope to see you all then. And until then, don't forget to keep on rolling. As the JBL Cup Season 2 is ready to meet the halfway point, we've decided to test teams on the most intense event of all, the one that makes them push each other off. Hello everyone and welcome to the JBL Cup Season 2 Event 10 Collision. For this event, all 5 members of the team will roll down trying to push the other team off the track. Whichever team has more members left on will win. This will be in a Swiss group where 4 teams will be in every single group and the top 2 will move on. In case of a tie, they each get 1 point, a win will reward you with 3 and a loss with 0. The 2 teams with the highest score overall will move on. And so we're getting ready. Group A, Team Blah and Cherry Clouds starting us off. Cherry Clouds, the team with the best momentum so far, will win the first match 2-0 and will get 3 points. Team Blah will start with 0. And so we can match everyone in the group, which means everyone has 3 matches. The 2 teams with the best score will be the ones to move on to the next round. Spices and Sugar Crush up next, the other 2 teams in the first group, and this is looking like a perfect tie, and it is 2-all, and that means 1 point will be rewarded for both teams. And so we keep going. Now you swap opponents for the next round. Everyone will face somebody else in the group, in this case Spices and the Cherry Clouds. Rolling down, and this is a 2-1 victory for the Cherry Clouds. Continuing their great momentum, this should be enough to put them in the next round. Can they get 5 top 4 finishes in a row? Quite a good quarter that would be. Next up, Sugar Crush and Team Blah. Team Blah leading the points. They're currently on 0. Can they get them? Yes, they can. 2-1 victory over Sugar Crush puts them now up to 3 points overall. Will it be enough? We will have to wait and see, as we still have 1 more match to go. And same goes for all the other 3 teams. As next up, Cherry Clouds and Sugar Crush. And that is looking like a victory for the Cherry Clouds, as long as they can keep 1 on. Yes, they can. 1-0, and Cherry Clouds with a perfect bracket, not losing to anybody. They will cruise on to the quarterfinals. But who will be joining them? I believe it is the winner of the next match. But we have to wait and see who will win, Spices or Team Blah. And this is looking like a win for Team Blah. And it is Team Blah, 1-0. They will also move on thanks to 2 victories. Good job for Team Blah. Last time couldn't do quite well in Collision, but this time much better result. And we're moving on, as we're now getting ready for Group B. 4 more teams ready to roll down, starting with Ghost Crabs and Brightening Knapweed. And they miss each other completely, but Brightening Knapweed managed to keep 1 on. Can he stay on? Let's see. Still rolling. Needs to come to a stop before we know the results. And he did. They just missed each other completely. And only one of them managed to stay on in the end. That gives 3 points to Brightening Knapweed. They will take it. It's good enough. They will move on. A good result for Brightening Knapweed. But we still have a lot of time to go. Next up, Maple Leaves and Zooming Zebras. Still hoping for a medal. Can they get it? Maybe. It's a 1-1 in this match, so they each get 1 point. So far, decent enough from all teams. As we are ready to continue. Round 2. Maple Leaves and Ghost Crabs. Ghost Crabs really need the points. We're currently on 0. They will take 1 here. Another tie for the Maple Leaves. 2 all this time rather than 1 all. And that is another point for them. And the first point for Ghost Crabs. But who will win in the second match of the second round of the second group? Here we go. Brightening Knapweed getting a match with the Zooming Zebras. Down they come. And this looks like another tie. Maybe. Can Brightening Knapweed keep one on? Yes, they can. Another 1-1. Still tied up. One more point awarded to each of them. As we're ready to roll on through to the final round and the decisive one for who will move on. Match number 5, Zooming Zebras and Ghost Crabs. Ghost Crabs have to win, but they will not. It's a perfect tie. No point for either of them. And that's another tie. 1 point each. But will it be enough to make it to the next round? We still have one more match to go. Maple Leaves and Brightening Knapweed. And this is looking like a tie. Oh wait, no. This is looking like a win. And it is. Maple Leaves 2-1. They will win the match. Oh, great job from Maple Leaves. But how does this shape up in the standings? Who will be the teams moving on? It's the Maple Leaves and Brightening Knapweed who will move on. Zooming Zebras didn't lose a match, but it's not good enough. Silver Bullets and Blvd starting Group C. It's looking close. And it's a 1-1. It's a tie. Both of them managed to keep one on, and that will be enough to share 1 point between them. As we're getting ready once more for the next match. Who are the other two teams to join them in the groups? Sapphire Spirals and the host, Knights of Night. And this is looking like another potential tie. Yes, it is. This group starting very even. Everyone on one left around, 1 point each. As we're getting ready for the second matches. The hosts pretty happy with this, content with their 1 point. But next up, Blvd up against them, and they push them off. Beautiful job. They managed to keep one on, and that is good enough to give the Knights of Night 3 points in this match. Great job. They're looking good to move on. It's not guaranteed yet, but it should be enough. As we're setting up for the next match, Sapphire Spirals and Silver Bullets. And it's one each. What a push from the Silver Bullets. Can they stay on? Yes, they can. A brilliant play from the one remaining one. You can see getting up, seeing the one remaining Sapphire Spiral member, pushing him off. Brilliant play. And that rewards them 3 points today and gets them ever closer to the next round. Sapphire Spirals and Blvd matching, knowing that one of them is guaranteed to be out here. And this is looking like a solid win for Blvd. 3-1. They still have a shot in the next round, but it depends on what will be the result from the last remaining match from Group C. Sapphire Spirals, no wins, are out. But who will be the ones to move on to the quarterfinals? Knights of Night and Silver Bullets. Down they come again, and it's looking like a tie, and it is 1-1. They decide to share a point. Will it play out well for them? Yes, it will. Both of them find themselves in the next round thanks to that tie. And Knights of Night and Silver Bullets are off to the quarterfinals. Whitecaps and Furious Fireworks getting ready to start Group D. And it's looking like a win for the Whitecaps. Wait, can they keep both members on? Yes, they can. Whitecaps win 2-1 over the Furious Fireworks and are starting strong to maybe move on. But there's still time to go. It's time for match number 2 for the 2 remaining teams, Virgin Colonies and the Highballers. Who will win, red versus blue? And it's looking like a tie. And it is 1-1. 13 Colonies and Highballers share a point. No victories here, but both teams leaving content with a point. As we are celebrating today, both teams very happy, but we have to wait and see. Whitecaps and Highballers down again, and this looks like a potential win for the Highballers if they can keep both members on. They can't, and that is a tie, 1-1 between them and the Whitecaps. Whitecaps, the one member remaining, doing just enough to push the remaining Highballer member off and get his team a point. Good job. Amazing job to get that extra point. It is important. As we're getting ready, Furious Fireworks and 13 Colonies down to the course, and this looks like a win for 13 Colonies, and it is 13 Colonies 2-1. Furious Fireworks just can't do well enough. They lose again. 13 Colonies closing in on the next round. Next up, Whitecaps and 13 Colonies again, and this looks like a 1-0 win for 13 Colonies. Second victory, this should be enough to put them in the next round. They are desperate for points, struggling so far near the bottom. Will this do enough? We have to wait and see. Furious Fireworks and Highballers up next. Highballers trying to keep one on in the center, and they do. 1-0, Highballers win the match. Furious Fireworks only losses. Unfortunate for them, and that win is enough to put the Highballers into second and put them on the next round. Whitecaps also out. As we're ready to start the quarterfinal matches. For this one, it will work slightly different. In case of a tie, we just go again with the remaining members, which in this case is not necessary, as Cherry Clouds will beat Brightening Knapweed 2-1 and will move on to the semis. Clouds with this 5 events in a row in the top 4. Anyway, as I was trying to say, in case of a tie, we just keep going again with the remaining members. And in case everyone falls off, it's a matter of the final one. Oh, what a play! Here by the Knights of Nights. They win by 1. You can see everyone falling off. The remaining 3 members from 13 Colonies all targeting this one, but a nice weave right at the end to make them all fall off. Knights of Night will move on to the semis. Up next, Highballers and Team Blah. Down they come, and it's looking even. It is. It's a tie, 2-2. In case of this, the remaining 2 members from each team will roll again, and they will keep going until one of the teams will remain with more. In case everyone falls off, it's the last man standing will give the team the win. Let's see if this will happen. Down they come again. It's looking like a 1-1 now. Can the Highballers stay in? They can, and it's 1-1. We're going again. Another tie between Team Blah and the Highballers, and now only 1 member remaining from each team. Who will get the victory and move on once more? We have to wait and see. Here they come for the tiebreaker. Number 2, both missing each other. Highballers struggling. It's a good push. Is it gonna be enough? Yes, it is. Team Blah will move on to the semi-finals. Clear, even if the Team Blah member has fallen off. If he falls off after the Highballer member, they would still win just by last man standing. That would have been enough. But regardless, Team Blah are moving on. Semi-finals once more. But who will they face off? It's Silver Bullets or Maple Leaves. Down they come. And this is a very, very easy win for the Maple Leaves. 2-0, and the Maple Leaves find themselves in the semi-finals. Fantastic showing from the Reds. But who will win the event? Let's find out. Still a little bit of time to go. Semi-final A, Cherry Clouds and the Knights of Night. Both got a medal last event. One of them will guarantee another one today, as it's 1 member left from each team. We're going again. 1-1. If they both fall off, the last one remaining will win. If one of them falls, the other team wins. Here they go again. And down they come. And they both find themselves off the track. But who fell first? Oh, it's very close. But it's the Knights of Night who managed to keep their member just a little longer. Will move on to the finals. Cherry Cloud will not get another silver today, but could still contend for bronze. But who will they compete against? It will be the Maple Leafs, as Team Blah will move on to the finals to have a Season 1 Classic against the Knights of Night. But first, before this match could happen, we have the bronze medal match. Maple Leafs and the team on form, the Cherry Clouds. Who will get bronze today? Down they come, and it is the Cherry Clouds who've done enough. Cherry Clouds will move on 2-0. They will enjoy a bronze medal today. Third medal in a row. Good showing from the league leaders. But who will win gold? Between Team Blah and our hosts, the Knights of Night. Down they come again. Everyone is falling. 2-1 so far. It's just one member remaining from each. And this is looking like a tie. 1-1. You see Knights of Night trying to push the final one off. Unsuccessful. One of them decides to stay on. Playing it safe. Will this pay off? We have to wait and see. Tiebreaker for gold. Who will win? The collision event. They're both falling off, but Team Blah fell first. And that means the Knights of Night, once again on the last man standings, will win the heat and win the gold medal. The Knights of Night win the collision event ahead of Team Blah and the Cherry Clouds. Fantastic showing from the hosts. The crowd erupts with joy as this is their second medal in a row, their third overall, and their second gold of the season. And in fact, with this gold, the Knights of Night are back in the top half, now sitting in 7th. Cherry Clouds keep their first, but we have to wait and see who will do better in the second half of the season. We hope to see you then as we start with archery. See you guys then. Until then, don't forget to keep on rolling.